All right. People rating in. Love it. We live. Happy Monday, guys. Gus, I heard you have a hell of a Monday.
Hell of a Monday.
Man, it's good to be back.
There you go.
I miss you guys. I'm gonna say though, I miss you guys. Well, Gus was here last week.
Uh-huh.
All right, it's gonna be fun. We got two guests today. I would say young, energized, and there's gonna be a lot of good conversation. Welcome, Raiders!
Oh,
Them with a raid.
No,
Hey, everybody.
what's up?
bringing in the family.
Welcome, guys. To the guys next door. All right. Wow. This is the first time we got a raid before we even start. Hello, guys. Welcome to the guys next door. You guys are probably wondering, who the fuck are these guys? Right now, we are the guys next door. We do this every Monday. I guess, Lim, thank you so much for that raid. You guys are here because you're excited to hear some exciting news and some stories from your community. So we got Liminal Faces and Cheska Tunes as our guests for tonight. So everybody, welcome and hope you enjoy the show. So my name is Mr. Coops. We got Gus, Musuko Type Mo, and Sound Decision. They're both streaming on Twitch. Follow them. We are the guys next door. So what the show is about: friendly chat, friendly banter about everything going on Twitch and out on Twitch. So today's going to be an interesting conversation, guys. So we talked to our guests that are on the backstage right now. Aren't you guys excited to what's in store for us today?
Very excited. For me, been a while, 3 weeks away from the show, so I'm ready to go. Might be a little rusty, but one of our guests is from our lovely state of Michigan, so we are very excited to have her on the show. And our other guest is the faceless.
Yeah, I think Newhouse said it best. The enigmatic liminal faces. I wonder if we're gonna see his face. I don't think so, but let's see. Maybe that's part of the show later, and so stand by. So welcome, guys. Happy Monday. These are the guys next door. Let's kick off the show right now. So every time we kick off the show, we ask the host, how are they doing? What's their weekend? But I'm gonna change it a bit, guys. Not how was your weekend? How was your week? Both of you are just coming off of spring break. Gus, I saw you went to Vegas. How was it?
Yep. It was good. Finally got some relaxing time with kid and my wife. Yep. One kid only.
What kid? The non-problematic kid. Right?
No. They're all good. They're all good.
They're all
Alright.
good.
Until they said no. Okay. Anyway.
You get mad, and then after that, it died down, and then you go back to reality. That there's
You sound like you were really mad an hour ago, but you're here with us.
yeah.
Yes. So
I
Gus
hope
was
you're-
telling us. Yeah. It said he's
I
not
hope
gonna go
you're-
on the show because he said he was not feeling well. But he changed it, right?
Yeah, because you can only go back mad for so long, and then after that, you think, you still have a kid. I guess they don't take it that way, but I guess we're parents, so I don't know.
Yeah.
it's a
That's what
two-way
I
thing.
told Mr. Coops. The show goes for 2.5, 2 hours 45. You can't be yelling,
Yes,
screaming at each
it's an escape. There's a lot of kids. All of our kids are in the 20s right now. So everybody in the 20s, this is how your dad thinks when you make a mistake. But this is what it is. But you're here now.
Yeah.
We're gonna have fun,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
I heard you were on that is that the NASCAR type of like
Yeah,
speed?
we went to Vegas Speedway, so took the was that ride along drift, so it was fun. Yeah, and then drove 2 hours. I think that's northwest of Vegas, I guess, or west, I guess, to Death Valley. It
Oh,
was
that's
it was
nice.
good to be there. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Did and
Then
how Let me ask this: how fast were you going on that drive? Not the drive to
Ooh,
Death
good
Valley,
question.
the
Good
other
question.
one. Because I see that video, and then you were like holding it up, like, oh, and how fast were
I
you
don't
guys going?
know. I think they went up to 100. I wasn't driving. I think it's a Filipino that was driving it. It's yeah.
Oh, that's why you're scared. It's a Filipino that drives, And
Yeah.
Philip,
Yeah.
but Filipinas are actually scarier drivers. Just to let you guys know. So if you have seen somebody swerving, you know, yeah, that's a nation or definitely a Filipina. I'm sorry, our guest is Filipina, so I hope I didn't. I heard she's a good driver though, but
Yeah. Yeah.
that's great. That's great. So
How
and then
about the
you drove.
food? What kind of food did you uh, partake in?
um I don't know. We went to all you can eat. I guess I didn't know that that's what because it says AYCE. I thought it's a kind
It
of
was
what's that? I thought it's like a
a
kind of
kind of
beef,
food,
but yeah, like 888 barbecue AYC. I thought it's a brand of
like
meat like
like a
Wagyu, like
wagyu.
A5. Yeah, yeah. But it just means all you can eat.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
But
yeah.
sound decisions, Gus went south. You actually went further. Gus went west, and you went further south on the island. So, how was your Caribbean trip?
Yeah, thanks. First of all, it was a much needed break for us Northerners who have been suffering since October. I remember I think it was October 14th. We had a soccer game, and as many of you know, I coach soccer. We had a soccer game up north here in Michigan, and it was there were flurries, and it was in the 30s. So it's been a long journey, and it's a welcome break for us. I'm glad we're able to do the trip. If Gus had an adrenaline filled, drifting experience, I was able to have my own share of adrenaline pumping activity. So I was able to. My whole family actually did this. We jumped from the top of a waterfall,
How
and
high? How high was it?
they said it's 25 feet. But
That's
when you
pretty
are
high
up
for me,
there and you're staring from this ledge, it felt like, I don't
dude.
know.
That's high.
It looks like a long way, and the rocks are magnified when you're up there. The water seems small, but the rocks on the side of it's like a canyon, something you would do in Cebu, in the Philippines.
Mm.
But I'm trying to upload the photo actually, the video actually right now. But yeah, you feel like it's a long way down. So happy to be able to do that. It was an amazing experience. We went to several islands. Never been to any of them, Turks and Caicos and the Dominican, where the falls are. And we also visited this Monkey Land place. Well, it's
Nice.
a safe haven for squirrel monkeys. If you're also a northerner, you're probably familiar with squirrels. And it's like a squirrel. You
Can
just
you pet
attack.
them there?
Yeah.
They're
No,
fucking
actually,
rabies though.
no, they're safe. They're actually just there for food. They're
Oh
there
my
for
god,
food, and they steal earrings. So if you're wearing shiny bling on your ear, they steal that. So let me try to play the. I hope this works. Let me try to type in video. The video won't do it
You're excited there, dude. I'm telling you though, when you get older, your height fear gets higher, right? Before like 25, 35 is high. 10 feet for me is high already with my age. But every time you get, your age go up, your jump limit goes down. I think that's proportional.
Yeah, the kids don't even think about it. They just go and
Yeah, but the rock there, dude. I when and then I can't even like I'm even scared right now, like riding a motorcycle in streets because when you get old, you guys don't know the fear, of getting hurt is high. So
yeah, yeah,
kudos for you, and looks like you guys have fun. I there's for me, it's just n- household chores and work.
Wow,
Spring
that's
break, spring break is still not there. It's still me next week, so I'm looking to play a lot of golf. But welcome to the fucking cold. It's cold today. I don't know what's happening. Don't you hate it's March still cold? I hate that. I mean, I get January and February, but
it's
March.
April.
Still cold. Oh, it's April. Yeah, it's April already, and it's still fucking cold. So,
actually
I wish there
I
was
have to ask my wife if I can open the heater because I already put it in
in in in,
cold mode.
in real.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
put it in
yeah,
75 already, and then it was like 60. So I said, "Can I put it in
yeah.
65?" But
Then you got an
Yes, it
earful.
was snowing today over here in the middle of the mitten, and it was cold yesterday. We got off the plane, had to throw on that sweatshirt. Uh, Not looking forward to next weekend where there's outdoors sports going on. So, uh,
Yep. Well, what Derek said, it's Masters week, so I'm happy. So I'm wearing my Masters
yeah,
hat. So
perfect.
I'm looking forward for today for all the golfers. This is a good week for all of us. It's Master. So that's how the guys next door spend their week. Two of them had really great experience. I did not, but I'm hoping I will. But today you're gonna have a great time on our show. So before I introduce the show, let's just show yesterday's NBHD rate train. So if you guys don't know what the NBHD rate train is, every Sunday we do this rate train from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We feature all the DJs. So if you are streaming music, whatever genre, if you want to jump on this train, let us know. We've been doing it for 3 straight years. So everybody have jumped already on it. Partners, non-partners, uh, affiliates, non-affiliates, even DJs are just starting. Are welcome to. Uh, you are welcome to go to our raid train to help you. Let us know the NBH rate every Sunday. So yesterday, another great lineup. I'm not gonna go through all of it, but if you could see it's packed, especially the ladies at the end. So the guys step it up on the starting, but from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. it was jump pack with a lot of lady streamers that play house, that play jazz, that play techno, you name it. There's all in there. And thank you so much for supporting the NBC Rate Train. So that's our train last week. Boyji, I'm not sure if he's here. Boyji has been doing a great job of, recruiting or asking people to play in the train. So if you are interested, hit me up, Sound Decisions or Gus. All right. So that's NBA rated. Now let's go to what everybody is waiting for. If you guys could add them to the stage, I'm gonna introduce our two guests for today, fresh from their show last week. Tonight we got something special, right? Two young DJs who are flipping the script, breaking boundaries, and building a whole new vibe with both on Twitch and beyond. We got Jessica Tunes
Hey,
and Liminal Faces. Thank you guys. So
Hello,
thank you for
hello.
joining our show. How are you?
cold.
Cold, yes. No, you're in Michigan. Yeah,
Yeah.
you should be used by that right now.
No, it was warm for a little bit and that became cold again.
What's funny is everybody assumes that Denver is freezing and it's like 82 right now. So
Oh my God.
we're
What is the
it's a
coldest for you?
desert. It's a desert here, so it's like it's warm during the day and really cold at night. I mean, we get cold. It gets cold here, but it usually jumps around a lot. So, but I'm actually from the Northeast. I'm from Pennsylvania, so I'm very used to very
PA, man.
very cold winters.
Yes. Well, let me give you guys a proper introduction first. So you know Cheska. Yeah, Cheska is one of those bass genre banding high energy DJ who has been in the game since 2019. Is that right?
Yeah.
And heavy hitting dubstep to euphoric, melodic banger. She's all about taking your journey that hits you in the right feels. And how are you, Cheska?
I'm good. Happy
So,
to be here.
Yeah, 2019. That's a
Right
long
before COVID.
right before. Were you in as a DJ or did you start gaming also like a lot?
Oh, no, I was solely DJing on Twitch. That's what I used
Nice.
it for. Hmm.
What was the 20? What was before COVID? Like what was DJing on Twitch that time?
There wasn't a lot of DJs for sure. There are only a few handful of people that I followed. I definitely found Jovian. He doesn't DJ anymore, but he was someone I looked up to, and I found that and I was like, wow, I want to do that. Like there's DJs on Twitch and there's not a lot, but we got to add more.
Oh, okay.
But it was all one or two genres from what I saw though.
What was those two genres?
Well,
House?
it was house, techno, trance. That's about it. At least before COVID.
Nice. And Lim, how about you? When did you get into Twitch?
Yeah, so I would
What year?
be a part of what I would consider the second wave, right? I feel like COVID was when it really kind of took off, and then there's a whole band of us that kind of saw what happened over the years of like 19 to 22. I started at 22, found myself in Whistleface community. That's where I kind of found a home for like a good, 6 months to a year, and then built off of that over time. So I actually had an interesting journey. I kind of started in the house community. I'm a very big on being open format. I play every genre. I love all different kinds of music, but I kind of started as a house DJ and then evolved over time and started to bring in more and more bass influence. And now I would say I'm a lot more bass forward than I was at the time. But yeah, about 3 years, and I started in 2022.
I'm just curious. How did you guys meet? You obviously get together. So tell us that story.
It's actually pretty cool. So I don't know if y'all know the streamer Lore the World. So I was in their stream. They raided over to Cheska. I landed in Cheska's stream. I said, "Whoa, we got a bass DJ here. I can't find anybody who plays bass on this platform." And then she was talking about how she was opening for a show in Michigan. Remember this? And so
yeah, you were crazy.
And then I immediately bought a ticket and then flew to
yeah, he came in from a raid and then just flew to a show. And
it was an artist. It was an artist I really wanted to see, and she was opening. I was like, why not? Screw it. Flights were like $60 round trip from Denver. It was a no-brainer. So, yep, that was it.
But still, you committed.
Yeah.
You committed
Yeah,
to.
you guys have been talking about it. We've been raiding Cheska for years, because we have to go to a Filipino DJ every time we play, and then we go to Cheska, and then we know that she's like 2 hours away from you guys.
Yeah, dude, it's 100 miles away, and we can't even. Do you? Which club did you play at? The Pontiac club? We should.
Electricity. I'm there a lot.
Cheska holds it down. Okay. Cheska holds it down at Electricity. I just want to say, from an outside perspective, she's got the crew there. They're all out there with the bunny ears. It's like a thing. It's like a thing. So.
Gus and I have been there. Gus, so how was your experience at Electricity? We should probably go back when Cheska is playing.
Yeah, let's do that then. Yeah.
Guys,
it's definitely changed a lot. Yeah. So if you haven't been in a long time, it's changed for the better.
23, I think, is the last time.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Coops.
Yeah, but Cheska, next time you're gonna see 20, 30 Filipinos coming in. That was Gus and sandwiches with the whole family. Oh, I'm not kidding. They have this big group. We go on a cruise together. There's 80 of us. You 80. Seriously, 80. That's
and we have, like you said, we have kids in their 20s. They're starting to go to raves. So they'd be the perfect audience to take.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to
yeah.
get all my siblings at one point when all of them are old enough to come through because
Jessica has like 30
I'm
siblings.
I'm the oldest of 7,
Wow.
Jeez.
Okay.
Wow.
and so far I've ticked off 3 who have come to my shows.
Ticked off meaning like check them off your list, or they
Yeah,
didn't
they
like
came
the
to my
music?
shows.
Oh, okay. You like
Okay.
upset them or
Good.
something.
So did my
means he-
parents. So
Yeah, he ticked off too. Like he
I'm
gave
like,
drinks
how many
already.
have come?
That's
Yep.
it's already.
The first
Sorry,
time
mom
they
or
come, all
dad.
right, shots at the bar, let's go.
Sorry, Tito, Tita. I'm not saying you have to drink.
My
Awesome.
parents
That's
came
awesome.
before, so that was a
That
surprise
would be
too.
great. That would be great. Well, wait for that. You got a bunch of Northern Michigan's gonna go down to your show. But
Definitely.
that's great, Lim. That how you flew there, and then ever since that, you guys should get connected, right? You can see
Yeah.
how it's really interesting. Like I think everybody is also listening right now. It's like how people connect through Twitch, right? We have known a lot of people, not just from different state, from different country, just join NBHD. Like we've been asked to go to Spain. Oh, I'm said, oh, I'm gonna you can sleep in our house. Oh, no, thank you, but yes, but that's really good that you did that. Okay, so Lim, how about you? I mean, what was your first? How was your first stream look like?
Yeah,
do
so
you
not
remember?
not where I'm standing. So cool story. I have a really amazing small but mighty community, and I'm very, very grateful. So we actually fundraised over the past 3 years, and I've actually built a shed in my backyard. So I stream from a shed now. Well, I didn't build it, but I had it delivered. But I was able to fund the down payment for it because of Stream. So now I stream in a shed, which I'm now finding there's a number of DJs that stream from sheds, which I guess is a thing. There's DJ Stream Shed, I believe, is one of the people, or Sound Shed. And so it's a thing, I guess. I'm joining the crew, but yeah, no. So this where I'm at now is much more, high end than where I was. I was in a back room, very little to show for it, just some blank walls and paper mask I built myself out of cardboard, right? So it started very, very, very humble and small, and then kind of built it out. So yeah.
Interesting. Well, Jessica, you've been 2019. Well, what was that look like then when you first started?
Well, I only started using Twitch to try and get better at DJing. I was looking for a platform where I could stream and then go back and look at or re-listen to what I did so I could see where I could improve.
Okay.
And I tried on Facebook first Facebook Live, and shut down right away, copyright. So I went to Twitch and I started there. There was not a lot of people there ever in the very beginning. I struggled to keep 3 viewers for months. So for me, it was very different. Also,
Right.
nobody was on Twitch for DJing. So
Yeah, that must be hard because even right now, I think a lot of the DJs went through that struggle, right? That challenge of 5-3 and interesting. We're complaining even like back then when it's already COVID, but 2019 that must be even harder, right?
yeah, luckily in the beginning, all I was trying to do was do it for myself. But eventually I was like, how come nobody's coming in? And it's funny because Rizm, my very first mod, he went into World of Warcraft and told everybody in his guild to come in and watch me play. And that was the first time I had 20 people in the chat, and I was freaking out.
That's amazing. Were you so you're using Twitch to kind of practice back then, but
I
were you
was.
doing IRL already stuff
N-
before Twitch?
No, oh yeah, I started my entire DJ career was on Twitch, basically. Just
Actually,
me.
I don't think I knew that. Actually, that's cool.
Yeah, I learned how to do that. Everything if I could go backlog, you would see everything.
That's
It was really bad
amazing.
in the beginning.
And like I'm not joking, she's humble about it, but like the bass crew out there, like Cheska holds it down. Like it's not huge, but Detroit is techno house city, right? And like bass is there, and I know because there's kind of a crossover contingent between Denver and Michigan bass scenes, but it's a lot smaller. Denver, it's everywhere. Michigan, it's not as big, but I mean, she holds it down, man. She's playing shows all
Wow,
the time. So
yeah.
the fact that you started on Twitch, I actually didn't know that. That's super inspiring. It's very cool.
Yeah.
So tell us that. How did you tell us the story how you got your first gig? Because there's a lot of DJs on Twitch who want to get IRL gigs, and you starting on Twitch is actually, hey guys, you have to be inspired with that. I always thought you were started on IRL.
No,
So
no.
tell us that. So how did you get your first break on IRL?
Well, I've always been in the EDM scene around Michigan since 2013. So I've been going to shows. That was actually why I started DJing. Was I always had remixes in my head when I heard them live. But I had a friend who was a DJ, and he asked me to play for one of his shows. That's it.
Oh
He went
wow,
by Party Hard. Now he goes by Clue. He's rebranding.
that's awesome. And,
Oh wait,
and
yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, he's awesome. I caught him
Mhm.
at Summer Bliss. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
He was that was great. He's a great DJ.
Yep, that's my friend Ryan.
and how many shows do you do a year now?
I think at least one show a month, at least. If not, then give or take.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's good.
There's even a lot of DJs and producers doesn't do once a month.
Not that I'm trying to inflate Cheska's head over here, but you also got to mention Cheska got on Lost Lands Music Festival, which is potentially the largest dubstep bass focus festival in the country.
Yeah,
that's
was
pretty
wild.
cool. Like it's hitting me that you started on Twitch. It's like making that all the more crazy.
The
in my head. Like,
story
I
is
didn't know that.
even better now. Yeah.
Yeah. Challenge Slim right now. Yeah, that's crazy. So what surprised the most though, between when you moved to IRL, between the Twitch DJ scene compared to the real world night, like your first, you remember your first gig? What's really surprised you?
I think it hit me that I don't see people online. I can see the number, but it doesn't hit me how many people are actually watching until I see that many people in a room. So I think the first time I played a real show, there were maybe 15 people there, but that still seems so much to me. And then I thought back to online, I'm like, wait a minute, how many people have I? Is like what, 20, 30? I don't know what it was at that time, but I was like, wow, this is actually a lot of people when you think about it.
Yeah, and I think it's hard. But Sound Decision and Gus also played IRL, with 1,000, right? So how does you guys all the DJs IRL? How do you guys feel? It's like the difference between Twitch and real life, just the crowd. What I guess my question. Yeah,
Lim has only done it once, right?
So here's a crazy thing. So the first time I played in a club officially was an event we booked ourselves. So I essentially this show we booked out in Detroit, I booked myself. And so that was the first time actually officially doing a club. I've DJed weddings and some other things, but yeah, and I can speak to that. I mean, I think for me actually, it's actually quite overwhelming. Actually, like when you're streaming, it's typically you in a space with I keep headphones on a lot when I DJ, and it's just looking to a chat. It's a very insular experience that you can kind of control. When you're in a live club, there's a lot going on. You have people all around you. You're making sure people are spilling drinks on you. You're also like the feedback of the crowd is a lot more important. You can kind of play in the sandbox a little more with Twitch, and people are there more for the energy and the vibe of the streamer and having a good time. Whereas like if you make a mistake in the club, it's loud. Everybody hears it. It's like record scratch moment a little bit, record stop moment. So that's what I kind of took away from it. It's kind of very different actually, in my opinion. But
it is.
And the rush is probably different, right? How can you guys explain what that rush feels like? Does it mean for people who hasn't done IRL yet? It's the same as somebody like rating in like 1,000 people, but still it's not comparable. What's that rush look like?
I think it's different.
Yeah,
it's not super at least for me. I got super lucky because after that first show, the next time I played at that venue, it was a sold out show for the person that was, I was opening, but I still played to a humongous crowd that I had never seen before. And that gave me the jitters. But after you're done, you're like, oh my gosh, I did it. And I think I did good. Everyone, like, you're coming off stage, everyone's saying good job, and they're asking who you are. And that's a whole different thing than like a raid. The
Right.
raid, everyone found you at the same time. They're typing, but it's different with the human interaction when you can
So
put a
looking at
face,
you.
put
Yeah,
a
yeah,
face to the
exactly.
name. Hmm.
Yeah,
And you
both platforms, there's energy coming, but it's different from when it's coming from a crowd that's right in front of you, and that takes your adrenaline so much higher. It's very hard to sleep after a a
Sure.
live gig, actually.
Well, the one thing I find interesting is like, people who stream and DJ, I mean, you're talking 3, 4, 6, 8 hour sets on here. I can't
Yeah.
imagine being booked for 45-minute gigs. Like that must be just painful. Like, 45 minutes. Like I got to go back and stream now. I can't, like it's just, yeah, you probably have such a high afterwards.
right. Right. And Jessica, do you still get nervous? I know you've been
Oh
doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Every single time. Every single time. Show day, if some of my mods have stayed at my house to come to a show and I'm just screaming like randomly in the house, I'll be doing something and a scream comes out because that's how I get rid of it.
That's
My
a good way to
anxiety.
do, yeah, to handle.
Get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Even if I'm streaming, like doing a big stream, I still get jitters too. Like I got it. If like the subathon I just did, I got the same thing.
Interestingly, you said that because Grace tells me she still gets nervous every time she go. You've been doing this for what, a long time, but everybody feels the same. Still feels that, right? So, why is that? And it's just because I guess
You
you
care.
care. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's right. Because you care, and then you don't want you want to please people because even though you're just on Twitch, you guys feel it's still a show, right? That you need to do.
It's the anxiety of getting started. I think it's just like a sport where you're most nervous before that whistle blows, and once you get started, you're able to mix your first track. It's just, you're just gonna ride that wave all the way to the end. But both platforms, live or Twitch, will make you nervous. That's
Yeah.
how I feel, especially coming from raids. When you're expecting, a raid, that would be.
Well, and a pretty solid segue into just the event that we did. The whole goal of what we did was to bring both of those together, right? So you look at Boiler Room, how big that's gotten, right? You look at the camera facing the DJ with the crowd surrounding it, and you see that trend that's gone up, 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 and then you see the amazing community and crowd and chat that comes through, and people are dropping donations and blowing you up and making you feel good. And then you also have the crowd behind you. And then we even we integrated fog into the chat so that the chat could set the fog off in the club. So you had
Oh,
someone all
nice.
night just hitting exclamation mark fog, and you think the opportunities are endless. You can do that with lights. You can do that with, I think Rich Glow has like fans that he does that sets off and like a bunch of other stuff. If you ever see
Yep.
his stream is very
Yep.
integrated, right? So the possibilities are endless. And so like, it was like kind of crazy having two worlds come together like that. And then not only that, we had the moment. There's an amazing reel which is really popping off right now. I have over 7,000 views on it. It's crazy. Of the moment we find out that we've landed on the front page, and it's like just
Nice.
that the whole club goes crazy. And I see that as being the future. I really do. I think it's a way that clubs are going to get more marketing, going to get more attention, potentially more money coming in other avenues. People watching remotely that now know about a small club in the middle of Michigan that wouldn't otherwise, right? I think there's something there. So that's it was cool, bringing
I
those two
like
worlds
this.
together.
I like where you're getting at. Yeah.
So Lim, are you telling me that and we talk about this like this is actually very interesting for a lot of viewers. So what you're trying to do is really bridge the gap between Twitch, right, and the real world.
Yes.
So it's basically IRL to URL or
Yeah, no,
vice
that's
versa,
good.
right?
That's a good one right there. You better
That
trademark
is a
that.
good
That's good.
one.
You want to steal that?
Yeah,
I copy it.
I
You can do it.
Trademark it.
I might need
Trademark.
to-
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm going. That would look good on a flyer. Let me hold.
Yeah, URL. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good
But
one.
that's really the what you're trying to do, right? Tell us more about this, because I think, yes, there's I'm trying to figure out, what others are thinking on that, right? And you obviously been brainstorming about it for a bit, stewing for a
Yes.
bit, to tell us how you want to do that and let the audience know.
Yeah, very, 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 very passionate about the intersection of virtual spaces and IRL spaces, but also using those to bring back the more of the underground club vibe of like people are there for the music, they're there to have a good time, but that doesn't mean that we have to completely shun computers and laptops and AI and all the bullshit that's in our faces, right? Because right now there's almost a little bit of this like kickback to all the technology. And I don't want to see us go the whole other way. I think there's a way to bring it together, but also keep it fun, high energy. Like the whole point is to be like a house party vibe on a small scale, and then broadcast to a large scale. So you've got 1,000 people watching 25 people have the time of their lives, right? And the FOMO just ratchets up because everyone's like, "Oh my god, I want to be there," And so my thinking is that if we as a community can come together and pioneer this, because if you think about it, DJ Twitch is like 1% of Twitch. Like we all think like it's an amazing platform. We all love this, but if you know, and if you don't, you have no idea. Like try talking to your barber about Twitch. They're like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
They're like, "Are you a gamer?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Cheska's an evangelist for this. Like Cheska tries to get everybody she knows to start streaming, and they just are not interested. But this is how you get people interested,
Oh,
because
yeah.
now you see, okay, here's these 25 people in a club broadcasting to Twitch, and they have 1,000 people watching them. What is that? I want to be part of that, right? And you're starting to see it pop right now. Yeah.
I need to tell you how many people who are locals around here who have hit me up. They're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
next time,
Yep.
let me know." I'm like, "Dude, I've been telling you for so long, and now you just needed to see this event to
Yep.
want to
And
get on
there's a lot.
here."
It's popping in a lot of things. Check out the group Close Friends Only. They're so fun. It's like 4 Hispanic dudes that just bounce around and have like a really like just fun time, and they're just going crazy behind the decks and dropping jokes, kind of what y'all do, like just like banter among dudes, just kind of like dropping music and just like having a really good time. They're like popping off right now, and now they're getting brought out on stages with like bigger name acts and stuff. I think this is a wave right now. I do, and so I got my own ideas and my way. I'm going to pioneer this. So I'm happy for there to be copycats, but I do think there's some secret sauce that we've kind of come up with here that I think could differentiate as well. So we've called it Secret Signal. Secret Signal meaning the kind of more of a secret underground party broadcast to the world. So check it out, Secret Signal _ on Instagram. Follow our page. Once we hit front page, we're like, we got to make this right now. This is popping. We got to get people to follow. So I made it on the spot in the club, So
Wow,
it's crazy. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we start with the why. You sell that vibe, right? But people will ask, how's the logistic of it all? Because they think that a lot of people are going to say it's hard. So I mean, how do you start with explain people? You do have to buy a lot of equipment, things of that nature. What do you tell them?
You just have to know a Cheska and a Rhythm who have all the
You,
equipment. And then
you gotta pool. Yeah, we pooled our resources. Like we had 4 or 5 streamers and mods helping, but now that we've done it one time, I think we can help others do it a little easier this time. Next time.
And if I may, not to and don't let me dominate, but I think this is an important topic. And Nixon, I really appreciate you bringing it up. I think one thing I think is really important is I do think that there is a way. I think there's a way through this that we can also push the culture forward of making sure we're honoring DJs that are tried and true, good, solid, skilled, tenured DJs, but also allowing room for people that, because Twitch is a different platform, right? If you're streaming, you're offering entertainment, you're offering a performance that you are packaging, promoting, creating, doing yourself. So it naturally leaves room for more talking, for more props, for more extra stuff that you wouldn't be caught bringing to the club walking up with your USB, right? So it's a little different, but I also think there's something to be said about being able to bring in people like, let's honor these tenured DJs that have real chops, and let them shine, but also allow new blood in too, who maybe did start on Twitch and still maybe have a lot to learn, but they know how to throw down and create a good time. Because at the end of the day, if you keep a dance floor moving, that's what's most important. So I just felt I needed to speak
No,
to that.
yeah, that's a good point, because I know Nick's when he was a guest on the show, we talk about the old way and the new way, right? So what you're saying is basically combine both worlds and give opportunity for all, right?
To me, this is what brings everybody together. Because if you look at the content of what comes out of a stream like this, if you do it the right way, you're not doing it for clout. It's not a bunch of people behind the decks with a drink looking bored. It's your friends and your homies having a good time. Invite only people that you know. Everybody walks away with the best content ever because it's just so raw and real and fun. But it gives room for everybody to come together in a way that everybody wins. That's what I think anyway.
Well, very good. And tell us how you guys did it. So Jessica mentioned about other streamers, mods. Did you guys just book a place and then bought your equipment and then how did you do your marketing? How did you guys do all of that?
Well, Lim did marketing, a lot of it. We pooled our resources. Like I said, we had some streamers. So obviously I stream. I've got mics, I got cameras, cables, whatever. And so does Lim, so does Neighbor Kid. Supa came through as well. And us being streamers, we all know how streaming works. We flew out. Well, my mod was already here. He flew out from Canada and helped with that as well. He is the one who made my channel bot. He made me a website. He knows the techie side of stuff. So it took a lot of different brains to put this all together. It was all Lim. It was Lim. Yeah, we had to pool resources for sure.
Yeah, I think it was. I try to. I try to be humble about everything. I try not to have big head or big ego or whatever. The one area where I think I excel, may not be the best DJ ever. I may not be the best this, that, or whatever, but I know how to pull a crew together. I know how to see people's talents, see them for who they are, bring people together to make things work. And I think we pulled together a really, really good crew and made sure that everybody had a task. And we also tried to do it. We crowdfunded the whole thing. So I think in the end we raised about 2,500 or $3,000 and essentially just about broke even.
Yeah,
getting all of it
fundraised.
Yeah, we fundraised the whole thing. Cheska did a massive 26-hour subathon. I did a
27 and a half.
27 and a half.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You might have beat Tino. I don't know. Tino's got the 20. He's the king of the 24-hour stream, so you might have beat him.
Tino's just 48, but yeah.
Oh, he did a 48. Wow.
Yeah.
Madman.
Yeah.
And then I did a 6 or 8. And then we just you share about what it is, and people want to be involved. They want to help. They want to see it grow. That's how you do it.
What's the most challenging part there, right? Just outside of coordination.
I want to say, I still am. I look back on it and it's just surprising how well it came together. I think the more prep you do and the more you really share about the vision of it and get everybody really psyched on it, the more everybody has a stake in it. I think the fact that all of us wanted it to be good made it good, as opposed to just me being having this idea and trying to convince everybody. I was struck. I would look around a million times and everybody's just working, getting stuff going, running cables, setting up speakers, getting stuff. I'm like, holy shit, this is because we stream, we know we all want to look good on camera, right? We don't want it to be bad. So I think a lot of it's in the prep and finding the right people who actually are involved in wanting it to be good.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Twitch DJs right now to get a chance to get that opportunity, right? But I think some of them, the opportunity is not there. So what do you think this is a venue for them to do it, or do you suggest just network, build a community to do this?
Networking for sure is the base of how you get yourself out there. You can't just keep playing on your channel or something and expect all these people to come, network with you. You have to go into the other channels that are like-minded, same space, same music, maybe the realm of what you're doing, and find like-minded people. Try to befriend them and then see where it goes. That's what happened with me and Lim.
And that's 100%. The grind, right? Yeah, that's the grind there, right? So that's the grind that you have to do.
I think sometimes people think too, DJ Twitch is niche, and it was even more niche before when we were streaming under music. We didn't have our own category. Now we do. So a little bit more exposure. But Twitch is not a discovery platform. It's not a good platform to find and discover new talent. So the way you grow is through networking, in my opinion. It's what you do off stream, not just. If you go live for a long time, you'll get people in, and you do get those follows, you do get people in, but like I think the people I see that grow really well are those that like have a big network and really collaborate on stuff just like this. I think that's important.
Yep. How about for Twitch DJs that just want to DJ, um, in Twitch because they're kind of shy, right? That's not their personality. Do you think that this is also something that is gonna work for them in your opinion? Because some of them like, so what I know a lot of DJs, the reason why they're DJing in Twitch because that's their alter ego, right? This is somebody that's not them in real life. So with this, do you think that this is gonna prompt them to just go out there and do IRL?
I wouldn't know anything about alter egos at all, so I don't know if I can answer this question. No, just kidding. I think that I think Twitch is about putting in the reps, and I think it's been fun. I've been able to see people that I maybe have perceived as someone who may not be a huge. I mean, I'm more of an ambivert. I have a battery. I run out of a battery. I'm not energized by people. It does drain my battery, but I can socialize. I can be active, right? I think if you're somebody who's more introverted, it's more about putting in the reps, and eventually it will start to help build to where it drains less and less of your battery because you get those reps in, you're going to the gym. And I think it's a really good way to help make you more social because honestly, I mean, there are people that don't even go on the mic much at all. And people are
Yes.
looking
Yep.
for that. People look for that. There are a lot of people that prefer that. I just want to let the music speak. And then there are people that mix both very well. Like I would give maybe like a Pat Richards or Supa does this really well, where it's a little bit of both. I know when to speak, but I also know when to shut up. And then there's other people who are amazing on the mic, and they're almost like just chatting with music mixed in, and that's amazing too. All of it is important. You just have to find your niche, and I do think it has the ability to pull that introversion out and help you get better.
That's so with this Lim and Cheska, when you're obviously going out and telling people what you want to do, like bridging that gap between Twitch, did you have any like negative, feedback like, oh, you're not a DJ because you're on Twitch, and now you're gonna move, did you encounter any of those?
I think you should speak about TikTok a little bit.
Oh God.
Not. I know it's a different thing, but like I've kind of watched. So Cheska was doing TikTok simultaneously while Twitch. I know it's slightly off topic, but TikTok is known for being pretty brutal.
Let's
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, TikTok
tell
is
us-
mean. I'm actually one of those people who would rather not speak on the mic at all ever. But yeah, I definitely think DJing on Twitch made me use a mic more because I have to. But there's definitely people who are mean, especially to girls who DJ, and they're always going to try and find something mean to tell you or just like mess with you. That's what TikTok was for me. So I just stopped kind of streaming on there. It's hard for me. I know a lot of people don't care because you know your worth and you know that you're doing well. You can mix. I know I can mix, but still reading negative comments gets to me. Yeah.
They're bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And then sometimes I'll like shut up and just okay. I'm like not gonna read the chat for a second. It happened while we were doing Secret Signal. I was on the front page and then
really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, so I got on the mic and I was like, hey chat, you're kind of being really mean, but like I was having so much fun that it was like whatever, but I wanted to say something because like I see you and I know that that's not nice.
You have to say
I want to call
right?
them out.
Yeah, you have to call them out. I think that's the key, right? Because I mean, again, Twitch is great. What would you say? 95% good, 5% bad, but others are bad.
3 years. 3 years. I've had one negative comment in 3 years.
That's how good Twitch is.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Well, but there are some like yesterday when Grace was streaming, and then somebody said, I was modding, and somebody said, "Why you speak like a robot?" Because Grace doesn't want to talk. I mean, I'm just, she's just saying it. But why don't you just shut the fuck up? I said on the mod, and then he didn't say anything yet. And then afterwards, I didn't ban him. Because I want him to reply back to me. I did not like push him. Like, come on,
You're like, we want to fight. All right.
Yeah. The one I got was pretty good. They said if I played music that shitty, I'd want to wear a mask too. And I was like, you know
Yeah,
what? That's actually that's a good one. That's a good one. I'll give that to you.
Yeah,
that's a
some-
conversation
First-
starter for
First
sure.
time in 3 years. That was 2.5 years in. So if I'm, it's that tells me I'm doing something right. If I'm getting hater comments now, right?
That's
So
it. That's
Exactly.
it. The more,
That's how
the
I
more
think about it.
popularity, the more
Mhm.
That's
exactly. That's how you know
exactly.
you're doing well. Yep.
Yeah, as soon as
It-
those comments came during Secret Signal, I turned around and I was like, it's because we're on the front page.
That's
The
true.
people who don't usually come
If
in
they're-
are in here. So
what they said, right? If they're talking, they're hearing you. They're hearing
Mhm.
you from there. So that's good. So yeah, but it's always been like there's always some negative comments when you're trying to do something. Like every community you're building, and even NBase had this, right? If you like listen to everybody and not concentrate on the positive, you're not. It's a non-starter at that point, right? You're not gonna get anywhere. Just plow through it. I mean, that's great what you guys are doing, and obviously you guys put a lot of work in it, and then kudos to that. But I think this is something that is different, that people would love to do. I think Lim, you told me you were speaking to your tattoo artist about this, and he doesn't know anything about Twitch, and he said, "Let's go. I mean, let's do this." If somebody's here, let's say have uh, um, a store or something, what will you tell that? Tell them like I know somebody right now who owns a Paris baguette near me. I didn't know that she works for me years ago, and then I didn't know he bought up a bakery, and there's this big space there, right? That you can actually get more people to come in, right? Do you encourage that to like small businesses to do it, and probably something that you can collaborate? Do you see that happening, Lim?
Well, you know what? I don't think you really need to tell them anything. You just like show them, right? That
Yeah.
that's it. This was a plant nursery, and there were probably 20 people in this room, but you wouldn't know
the
it.
terrarium, right?
Yep.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
And
Ferndale.
so that's what you
Michigan.
do. You
Ferndale.
just show them that, right?
They are also Asian owned.
And
So
they go,
go
oh,
visit
holy
them.
shit! They go like,
They should
this
know.
is
There you
crazy.
go.
Yeah. So
And,
that's
and that's part of their marketing, right? At that point, they could either get out of the community, they could see it, and I think it's going to be a hit.
yeah. No, and I very much want to I'm very passionate about the folks like Nick's in the Mix in the chat, because I do think that it's very, very valid, because there's a lot of DJs that are very tenured and they focus on knowing and understanding their mix and their skills. And I think it's very important to respect those that have those skills. But I also do think since the beginning of time, right, you've had to be able to promote your music and what you do. And I think this is a really powerful way to do it. And I don't think it necessarily needs to be it comes across as gimmicky, but I think that it's actually not if you do it the right way and it's with people who are actually there for the right reasons. What I don't like to see is when it's someone DJing and it's a bunch of 20 people staying behind them with their drinks, not actually having fun, not involved, just trying to look cool.
Yeah.
That I think
Yeah,
that puts a
They're
pall,
just like this
Show.
the entire
Yeah.
time.
that gives this a bad rap in my opinion. So I think there's a way to do both. I really feel strongly about that, because I do respect really good, strong, tenured DJs, and like I would never come out here and say I'm the best DJ out there, and I don't like people that are fake or fake that, and I don't think that should be done. But I also think entertainment and keeping people happy at the end of the day is at its core really important. And so there's room for everybody, I think. So
Well, let me ask you this: what old school DJs always complain about Twitch DJs right now not paying their dues, but what will you say when they say that to you guys?
Like vinyl or like vinyl DJs or
Old
Just
school
just
DJs say you
the
have
old
to do
schooler.
grind. The old school. There's always that thing, right? I'm not. Uh, they're they're possible. They're not gatekeeping, but just saying you have to go to that process.
I
What's
think
your
there's
take on that?
a little bit of a misunderstanding of the platform. In my opinion, being a streamer is actually not about DJing first. Unfortunately, I know people don't like to hear that, but it's actually about providing entertainment value and keeping a chat moving and keeping people engaged. The club IRL spaces, that's for DJing. Like that's what the point is there's more of a spotlight on that. You have a big sound system. People are really supposed to be there for that reason. I think that Twitch is primarily gaming, and DJing has found a subsection of that. But to me, the most successful streamers are the ones that are using the platform to provide a vibe, an atmosphere, keep the chat moving, keep people engaged, keep people entertained. Not saying
It's
the music's not
community.
important. It's very important, but in my opinion, it's not the first thing about being a streamer. Unfortunately, it's not. I don't think if you poll people who watch a chat, they're there for the vibe, the community for the most part. I think there are people that don't talk and are focused specifically on the mixing. And again, I'd like to call out Patrick Richards. I think is somebody who marries this so well. He is a very good DJ, very talented, but also holds down a chat. And I will never know how he does it because it's to me, it's that's the like he's probably one of my bigger inspirations, I'd say. But yeah,
So Twitch DJs are more connected, I guess, to their community, right? And
Then
then
IRL
then
DJs,
they,
I
yeah.
would say so. I mean, you can speak to them while you're mixing, which you can't do. I mean, you can do in real life, but that would be a little weird. Like, hey, you, what are you doing right now? Like,
but that's what make this successful, right? So
Mhm.
it's your community, the community build. Cheska, you build your community around it, and then that's where the support is. And I think that's also the network that we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%.
and can you say that Twitch is the new underground?
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And what would you say to the others still having promote underground music IRL? I mean, if Twitch is that, how can you compare that? Because we had I don't know how many weeks ago we have the Utah this Utah DJs are really promoting underground music IRL, but right now we're saying Twitch is the underground. What makes it different, or what's make it similar to IRL?
I feel like you have a great chance to find someone who's really great at DJing, and they might have 4 or 5 viewers, but you find them and then like you bring them into your community or show them the ropes basically, and then you open up a whole new world for them. And I don't know, the underground, that's, to me, the underground is the people who are crate digging all the time on SoundCloud. That's where I go. I'm on SoundCloud all the time looking for songs, and that's where I think the underground is, because it's hidden gems. They're free downloads. You don't have to pay for them. Someone just like uploads something they were working on and that could blow up. That's something I would like play on Twitch, and that's like underground. But something like that happen in real life, I don't know what the equivalent.
yeah, I think I agree with Supa here. I think I'm mixed on it. I don't really think there is one singular underground, right? To me, the underground is people who are doing something in service to the culture. It's not for clout. It's not for visibility. It's not for looking cool with your friends. It's for doing it for the community, for the culture, for the music, and that can exist in so many different places. That can be IRL in Renegade sets under an underpass. That can be on Twitch in a community that you've built. That can be on YouTube. That can be on SoundCloud. Wherever people are going, but they're doing it. It can be in Final Fantasy 14 clubs. It can be in VR chats. Like there are so many different undergrounds. I think as long as the central tenet is it's in service to the community and it's being done for bringing that together, I think that's the underground. So I think the answer is Twitch is an underground, but not
I think underground also means something that is different, out of the ordinary, and something that a lot of people aren't doing, which you can find on Twitch because you have so much freedom to do whatever you want because it's your own show. You make up your own show, and that's what makes it different. Your own personal touch. Like Lim,
sure.
you have so many ideas, and you can just make them come to life with thinking, of course. But that's all you, and you can put your own show.
Yeah.
You can make your own music, make your own lights. Like everything is all you, and that is super underground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Pat, we talk about this once. Do you think this is just generational gap? Then I mean, there's old school DJs who, to Nick's point, went through the core, and then there's a new generation coming in, wherein technology is also a big part of it, creativity, marketing. Is this just because the world we live in right now? Do you think
Uh,
that's placed
I
with that?
think I think this happens in all industries. Listen, the guys like Nick's, they came before me. I learned from that generation, which is Nick's generation, passed along to me. I CDs became a thing, um, right in the middle of my DJing, so I had to adapt. So I guess in any industry you have to adapt. If you were a pilot in the 80s, you have to adapt to the technology. I see all the pilots now are carrying their iPads because their maps are there and all the information is there. They don't carry those papers anymore. It's the same thing in playing music. We have to adapt. We have to learn from the past and adapt to the future. And guys like you, Cheska and Lim, we are learning from you as well. So today is super eye opening. I've
Mhm.
never heard uh, Twitch as an underground place, but it makes more sense now that it could be, but it's very dynamic. It's very dynamic. Exactly what it is. You have your own show. You can be discovered. You can also promote yourselves. So to your question, if there's a gap, maybe there's a gap, but it's also our job. Gus and I, we've been playing together for so many years. We adapt. We try to adapt. We try to learn the new stuff so that we can be still be relevant and can continue, playing our music.
Yeah, I think it's not disrespect, right, from the old system. It's
Not
just
at
being
all.
challenged,
No.
right? Yeah, it's just being challenged right now by the innovation. And look, it's not generational beef on my opinion. It's just a paradigm shift, like
Hey,
everything
listen,
else,
when
right?
when Grace wanted to learn how to DJ, which was what 3-4 years now, and I tried to help her, I couldn't help her or I couldn't teach her how it was taught to me because it's so different now. So I had
Yep.
to have a different way of charting it out and putting up a presentation for her so that she'd understand better. Um, because the old way to teach would be harder, especially virtually. Um, the only thing really that we really have to keep, it's like we really have to use our ears, but that's only a small part of DJing. Beat matching with our ears, that's a very small part. There's so many things now, like you said, the lights, the show, the networking, the marketing, those are all, you have to put attention to all of those as well.
I'm very big on I'm very big on intergenerational conversations. I'm very big on paying dues versus respecting those that have come before you. I do think that there is a way to marry all of these things that makes everybody win. But I
Love it.
do think it takes a little bit of every approach personally.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yep.
very passionate about
I
that.
mean, we wouldn't be here without the people before us. So
Mhm.
obviously, you have to. I think it is a good idea for all new DJs or even just EDM lovers to learn the history. Like you should
Sure.
always learn your history of how you got there.
Yeah, well, that's why we bring all generation in the show because we learn a lot, right? So we feature old school DJs, somebody who started, and then you guys. I think that's how we all grow, right? This is what again the community is all about, to um, meet new people and learn from them, and that's really really inspiring. And I'm glad that what you guys are doing in Secret Signal is it's this attempt, right? I know it's going to be challenging, but I think you have our full support. But um, I think it's a great idea, bringing that out, because you're marrying two things that are people are passionate about, and also I think it helps everybody grow, not only just the DJ who's the starting, and also the old school DJs. Very interesting. Yeah. So what's the next step for Secret Signal?
Well,
Yeah, Lim.
I think it's trying to just kind of capitalize on it while it's hot, right? We're getting a lot of attention right now from people just interested, and so it's trying to find a way to do it as efficiently as possible. I think this last one was just trying to just go out on a limb and make it work, and obviously that was very successful. I'm here based in Denver, so the goal is to make something happen in Denver that is nimble, cheap, just trying to make it be as nimble and agile as possible. So kind of take the learnings from that, maybe do it on a little bit of a smaller scale and get like the SOP, the operating procedures right, make sure it's all good, and then start to build it out to other cities, other people. And we got a huge network here on Twitch. You got people all over the country, so my thinking is good, always want to try to pull in like Twitch partners and stuff like that, as well as I want to mix not just Twitch DJs, but people that are IRL DJs in that city that are really talented, that know their stuff, that are representative of the scene there too, and help give them a window into what Twitch is and what live streaming is, and into the technology too. So
do you see like DJs running their own like mini secret signal events in their city?
That's the
Is that what
goal.
I think that the idea of this was to show that it can be done, and show that I think there's a better way that we can mix this world into the IRL world in a way that people haven't done right, in my opinion. No shade to anybody who may be watching this. I've seen DJs set up in an IRL setting, and usually it's just one camera on the DJ and there's a back wall, and I'm kind of going, I want to see what's over there. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know what's going on. And sometimes you got to be agile with it. That's all you've got. You just want to set it up so you can chat with your audience. That's totally fine. But on a bigger
Ye-
scale, I think there's a way to make it a production like a concert or a show or a rave would be, or not. It could also be set up at like in a renegade setting or an underground setting, but you still got to have nice
any
cameras,
setting?
something,
Yeah, any setting. Yeah, because
something to give
so,
it, make it feel like you're there, even though you're behind a screen.
so interesting. You said that Gus, Sound Issues, and I and Grace actually did that 2 years ago. It's like a two high school program. It's like 2,000 kids. We actually stream it, and then Gus has all the lights. I got all the cameras, and then we stream it, and then I feel like everyone was there. Of course, you have to deal with internet connections, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
But that would be interesting if we have known you guys back then. We could have hit that up, and I think all the kids are gonna love it and get more. And I think Twitch the one's
There you
gonna
go.
benefit from that, right? Because everybody's gonna download. Because what we did back then in Sound Decision, right? We have a main stage. We have like another stage outside that actually another DJ streams on Twitch. Like
Actually,
also,
this is what happened. The opener DJ for the there's two stages. The opening DJ for the outside stage was coming from a Twitch feed, which was Lily
that's
Rose, right?
Lily
She
Rose and her
opened
partner.
the
Yeah.
prom, but she was in Las Vegas.
Oh,
The
see,
prom's in Michigan.
I've thought
Oh,
about
We
that
were
fun.
too. That's amazing.
broadcasting,
Yeah.
we were broadcasting
Yep.
her show to
Yep.
these kids as an opener.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
this, I
while
don't think this
waiting
has ever
outside.
been done.
Hundred
Yes.
percent. I've thought about that too. Exactly. You could have talent from all over the world. It could be virtual, real, virtual, real. It could be a
So
whole different combination.
two-way street, right? We
Yep.
could be the one broadcasting in a place, or they
Yep.
could be broadcasting to us in
Yep.
a venue. That's
Mhm.
amazing.
And then we broadcast the show inside while Gus and Sound Decision and Grace were performing on Twitch. I mean, we were so the thing about that is like our focus is the whole performance, but if we thought about it more what you guys are doing, you could have like made more elaborate, and then they could see both
Well,
the reaction of them.
when trying to build it out so it can be repeatable, right? Because you have
Yeah.
people that want to do this that don't understand the technology. They just want it to work, right? How can you do it yourself? And so just trying to model that a little bit while also kind of maintaining some secret sauce and some things that we do that make our brand, Secret Signal unique, but also allowing other people to take parts of that concept and use it for themselves, right?
So interesting. So you said repeatable. Are you planning to create like a toolkit that kind of like has a guidance and also how to do infrastructure that you want to send to people, or kind
Yeah.
of like up, or is that something that you're planning?
I think so, because I love this community so much. Like Twitch has quite literally changed my life. I've met, as it sounds like whatever. I really have not had close friends until this platform. I really haven't, and like I have met some of the best people here. It has been, just such a blessing to my life that I feel like it feels like something that could benefit everybody. And so I think if we lead with that kind of spirit, like that to me is what underground is. It's like we do it because we see what we have here and we want it to grow in the right way, and we want to make sure that like we can help other people succeed together, right? I know it sounds corny, but like it's true, right? So that's why I think we've done it. Let's learn from some of it. I want to put together like a little, a PDF or something that just kind of gives examples of how somebody else could take parts of it. Obviously not going to give all the secret sauce because there's things that we do and that I do that I think are unique. But I think it's something that's going to continue to blow up. And I think Twitch as a whole, every DJ on this platform is uniquely positioned to leverage that, I guess, if that makes sense.
Oh no, it totally makes sense. It's not just streaming; it's also storytelling. I'll be a nugget again. Isn't just streaming; it's storytelling. IRL to URL. I love that.
Oh, I
You can
can't
use that.
wait.
Copyright
I
it.
want-
Gotta
You can do
copyright
that.
it.
Yeah,
We're
you
gonna
get a
have to
trademark
stay
it.
tuned.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to get a
Yeah.
trademark.
No, you could use. So I think people are underestimating what's possible in a virtual set, right? So you basically what you're telling the world is, it's easy. Don't underestimate and just the power of it. Is that what you're trying to show everybody? Is that
I
correct?
think so, and I think it's a way because, like, again, if like a comparison for Cheska's very well integrated into the Detroit scene. I don't have nearly the level of like IRL connections in that way, but like she's trying. It's like pulling teeth to get people to come stream, and like I'm trying to do that here in Denver. I'm talking to people like, have you ever checked out Twitch and like how great it is, and like how people are, and like how supportive, and how it gives you a platform to grow, and like people just kind of look at you like, maybe, and I don't know, isn't that for gaming, but like when you see this, it's like it's instant. They get it.
Yep, lead by
Let me
example.
let me ask you guys, all of you, like, what's the best way of people getting to Twitch? I'm having a hard time, right? Of getting it, people to Twitch. What do you think is that? What's the right word? What do you think is that thing that you need to tell them to get into Twitch? Because everybody thinks it's gaming. What's the hardest part there? I mean, you, Jessica, I mean, IRL, especially if you want to get the IRL into this, for you, outside of just telling them it's not just a gaming plan, what's your biggest challenge?
Yeah, I think having examples of or updates of cool things that you've done online and then showing on your other platforms is a good way to get people interested, at least. It is very hard to get them in the chat if they don't even have an account. Then that's even harder because they're just like, okay. Or sometimes I'll meet someone and they'll say they have an account but they haven't used it since COVID and they forgot their password and they're locked out of their account. So it is really hard getting people online, but I do think showing them the experiences that I'm having, that we're having, and it looks super cool that like doesn't happen anywhere else, that would be something to bring them in. But I think I also struggle getting even my real friend, like IRL friends, to get in here. But also those friends see me all the time and they come to my shows. And for me, I don't want to hear a set or songs ever that, like, if I'm going to see somebody live, I try not to listen to their music or any sets that they've played because I love being surprised. I'm getting off topic, but
No, that's good. Yeah.
but like, yeah, if they're like me, then I want to go in my stream either.
Nice.
They like to watch other things, but then I guess that's where entertainment comes in, where you're more than just a DJ.
And yeah, you're an artist, right? You have your own brand. You're a brand
Well, kind of the
marketer.
way I see it, the modality of what we're doing is we are the whole show, right? We are promoting, we are running, we are getting people in, we are performing, we're running the tech, we're running the lights. We are the full package. Where when it comes to an actual show, you're asked to show up and play music. That is your area of expertise. That is what you need to do. To be a streamer, in my opinion, you have to be a very good all-arounder because you need to be able to do all of these things. And that's why I also think it's really was a special thing to watch all of us putting this show together, because everybody knows how to stream and everybody is an all-arounder and everybody can see where someone needs help and they can go and do it because they're used to doing it themselves. I think streamers are actually a pretty big workhorse type of people, like, because they have to run the show. They're doing everything. So I think it's a little different, and I think to answer the question, I think we just have to remember, like, DJ Twitch still is very niche. Like, it isn't for everybody, kind of like Rizm said. Some people are going to like it, some people aren't. But what I think we need to think is bigger term. Like, Amazon could pull the plug on Twitch any day. I hate to say that. That's scary. I know. It's not been profitable for over a decade. It hasn't. So they're trying to find ways to make it profitable. And so I think we need to think bigger, which is how can we integrate the two so that everybody gets it, right? Like, how can we bring what we're doing more into a setting where people understand it? How can it become more mainstream to have Cheska streaming from her room on the wall of a bar, right? Like, how can that become more regular? That's what I think
I
the future is.
I think also, just back to the question, if people like the music that you're playing or they like some other sort of music, you let them know that there are DJs on Twitch who are streaming for hours at a time, and people are always looking for playlists and mixes, but you can go and stream and like have music for however X amount of hours, and they'll probably bring you somewhere else. I think that's an attractive part of it. And then also, I try and stream all of my events, my IRL gigs, and people know that now. They see, like, I just have my phone. It's not the best camera, but it'll do, and it does the
Sure, yeah.
sound, everything. And people are interested, and they see that too. And then I can tell them, well, not anymore, but I used to be able to say, like, oh, you can go back and watch the VOD, and like maybe you can find yourself in it. If it was like a pop-up IRL, or like maybe I showed the crowd for a second. But yeah, just telling more people about it is definitely the way we got to do it.
I love you guys' vision, right? It's really, for me, with all the things that you guys are doing, your main goal, correct me if I'm wrong, is really giving Twitch DJs a voice, right? It's just a platform to do that. And do you guys see any other, outside of just streaming with other people, yet any event collaboration that could happen? I know, Lim, you mentioned, what we're doing here on Two Guys Next Door is some collaboration of you helping you guys tell the story. What other collaboration you guys could think about, using like the embedded media that you're thinking?
I mean, one thing I've been struck by just from observing and learning from Cheska too, in the times I've been out there. I've probably been out to Detroit now 5-6 times. It's a very easy, quick flight from Denver. There's actually a very cross contingent. Like, people often move from Michigan to Denver. I don't know what. There's something.
I don't know what it is. It is a thing.
Especially in the bass music scene. Like, it's just very. It's just they're you're two peas in a pod. So, and the flights for me are like $50 round trip. So I go out to Detroit a lot. From what I've observed, and this is newer for me, and also my business partner Freya, who's kind of off the screen here, but it's very important to have like a team here that is able to find all different types of events. And one of the things I find that Cheska is very involved in is like the virtual world of, like, so for instance, that Haywire show. Here's a dude who's is a DJ who has been doing this for a long time, who's found ways to innovate. So he put motion tracking on his body, and then he cut in between himself DJing in a room and then himself DJing in a virtual space.
Yeah,
And I
that's
think
with
there's
Wave XR.
there's a lot of that too that could be pioneered as well, I think, in terms of mixed medium, I think.
That's great. Well, guys, really, we are very excited, and we will love to support what you guys are doing. I think it's just going to benefit like everybody, right? The boiler room in a bottle, that concept, right? It's just it's just amazing, right? It's a very creative, right? And it's technically feasible, and I think everybody will love it. So more power than that one. And really kudos to you guys for really merging the intersection between virtual and IRL. And I think there's a lot of tech fueled creativity that you can do with that. All right, well, I would like to switch now, and I think it's a good segue when you said about that AI generated content. We would like to switch now to the next segment of our show. So this is our show wherein we actually switch to another topic, still related, and we would like your points about we can talk about. This is called Beyond the Neighborhood. This is where we talk about anything outside of Twitch or just what's happening in the world. All right, that was loud. Yes. So yeah, you scared Jessica there. So interestingly enough, one of our topics today is about AI generated content. So sound decision, has something for us that we can talk about, and I want like to get your perspective on it. Go ahead, DJ Pat.
Do you have the clip?
I don't have the clip, but it's basically right now it's AI generated content
Oh,
creation
you have
in
a
the
link.
modern
You have a
world.
link
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah, I have a link. So imagine a world where your favorite DJ never sleeps, influencers never age, and the lead role in a blockbuster movie doesn't exist in real life. That world is not science fiction anymore, people. It's happening. From virtual performers and AI created beats to Instagram avatars with millions of followers, artificial intelligence is rapidly becoming the newest content creator on the block. So we want to talk about this, right? Because I just found out that there are actually AI generated social media influencer. I didn't even know that that's a thing.
I'm not surprised.
Like there is this one uh Instagram creator has 2.5 million followers, and it's all her content are AI generated.
Whoa.
That's right. So interesting enough, right? So, and I think we see this also that a lot of other DJs actually does that. Do you think that AI is AI an artist or it's just a tool?
Tool.
Can true.
There's an artist behind the tool.
Okay. So, Cheska, I want to get your perspective on that. That's a very good point.
I mean, someone had to at least train it, which is a person doing whatever tedious work behind getting the AI to whatever it needs to be. I don't know too much about it. I just know that my mod made a bot for me in my chat, and it responds to you as if it were a real person. And a lot of people who are new come into my channel and they think it's a person. Like they
Person?
speak to it and they think it's a
Right.
person, and it like you wouldn't know. It's Claw. Yeah, it's called Claw,
Yeah.
So 2
Yeah,
weeks ago,
Claude GPT, yeah.
and it remembers certain things about you. You say you don't like the color blue, it'll remember that about you. So,
oh, that's
peop-
amazing.
yeah, it is. Bones did a good job.
So 2 weeks ago, we did an experiment. Mr. Coops, Gus, and I, we were fooling around one of these websites. So I had the topic in mind for a certain sport, and I typed out, just a scenario or what I need to present, and I asked this tool to type up a podcast, and I was able to, or it was able to produce an half an hour podcast with very accurate content on it that you can actually upload to your own podcast. To Cheska's point, there has to be someone behind the AI for it to be able to produce.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
it was very, I think it was very accurate, and it's very well produced that it can go on its own, and it could
Mhm.
probably gain followers.
Lim, so you said it's a tool though. Why you say that? Do you think that it's just
Yeah, well, I think Cheska said it well. Yeah, I think there is an artist behind the tool, right? But I think that AI at the end of the day, it's just an amalgamation of human tendencies and reactions and interactions that are studied and replicated. It's a system that's reading a bunch of data and then automating it, right? So it's essentially parts of different pieces of humans. It's like, I don't know, it's like saying, is a random object, art? It isn't intrinsically, but it is if you utilize it to, be art, I guess, if that makes sense. Like there are artists that utilize AI in ways that aren't just like, I think the AI art we have right now, it's like hotel art, right? It's like you look at a painting on the wall and you're like, that was manufactured 1,000 times for every hotel. It's
Right.
not interesting, right? It's whereas if you can take the tool and use it to make something that is unique and isn't just a copy of somebody else's work, there's something there to that, if that makes sense. But you have to mold it just the same way you would make a statue or make a collage. It's got to be part of the equation. It can't just be, hey, ChatGPT, make me art and then sell it. Like that sucks. It just
I would
sucks.
I was just in a. This was recent. I was just in a gallery, art gallery. So they had auctions. I think the art looks like they're AI, and I think one. Well, they're believable, but I think one has to have a trained eye to
Hmm.
determine whether it's AI or not, and that this is where it could fool a lot of people, right? I mean, so
Yeah.
if that Instagram account you're talking about has 2.5 million people, how much of those 2.5 million are being fooled into this
How many of
realistic?
those are?
And I think
Or
that
yeah, how many
that's
are those are fake?
that's the piece you can't quantify, right? Because I still think, and I may be naive in this, at the end of the day, the unexplainable feeling of looking at something and thinking it's incredible or beautiful or interesting or whatever is innately something that is crafted with intention. And I don't think that AI itself can do that because it's ultimately a copy of a bunch of other things. Maybe some will fool people, but I do think at the end of the day, the things that are intentional, there's an I don't know, maybe it's woo woo, whatever. There's an energy around that that I think will bring people to it. That I think by and large, I don't know. It's hard to. Something you can't really explain, but I just think that people will be able to tell, even as good as it gets. I think by and large, it's not going to be this thing where all of a sudden we just have a bunch of robots making art and we're all fooled. I don't know. That's me.
It sounds scary, but I want to ask everyone, where do you think AI takes us? It looks like it's just gonna get better. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll get better.
Yep.
I
I
hope it
think
does.
I think for some works that are repeatable, you probably could use AI, but there's still some tasks that
Yeah,
you still need to
but
proofread and read.
Absolutely.
I mean, still use your own thoughts, right?
but do you guys think people are scared or excited about it?
Oh, both.
Both, and I think both are necessary because if you're scared of something, you see it as what it is, which is
Hmm.
something to be respected, right? I think it is because it's such a force, but I think there's a way to bring it all together in a way that everybody wins. The bigger problem is not the AI, it's the people in control of the AI, which is whatever your thought process around whatever. I think there's no surprise that, people who have a lot of money are trying to use it to make more money. And
Hmm.
that isn't always the best utilization of something like this. It's more so like it's a tool that should benefit all of humanity and be able to be a leverage, like just like a hammer, to nail in a nail. But like, is it something where we don't even have access to it anymore, and it's being used in bad ways? I guess that's the bigger fear I think a lot
Yeah.
of people have.
Yeah, I've always been excited about the applications of it, right? Because I'm a big proponent of this because I'm not scared of how we will do. To your point, I'm scared of the people who are going to use it, but just the application. To who said that? Somebody said it's going to take us 100 times faster, right?
Hmm.
I think it's the application of it, that I think will all going to make us better. It already makes a lot of people better right now, and to your point, AI learns, right? You still need to do the parameters. You still need to teach them, like what Cheska said, because you just can't say I'm going to use it and that's your output, right? You have to mold it so that it thinks like you, and it becomes, somebody you can brainstorm with. I am a software developer, right? For me, the application, I'm not going to have that AI write the code, but I'm going to be bouncing off ideas. I'm building this. What do you think? And there were ideas are coming in that I feel like I'm talking to another software architect, but I think, and he's learning all the inputs. I think that's for all the application, and that's how people will have to take a look at it. But although it's different, though, I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna ask you guys, the application of it on the music industry. What do you think it is? Is it just crippling a lot of people, or it's just also
I,
gonna make
I
it
think
better?
I think it's going to swing back. I think we're feeling the pendulum swing back. Actually, I
Mm.
think we're starting to feel tired of it. We're starting to feel sick of the same, just generic stuff. And I think people starting to catch on a little bit, and I think um, people who get scrappy, people who are doing things in unique ways. I could see like older technology coming back in, synthesizers, just manual things becoming cool again, just in the way that like there's a reason why vinyl is still selling. It's got a unique it's tangible, and I think we're losing that tangibility in the world. And I do feel maybe again, maybe I'm naive, or maybe that's not true, but that I'm seeing a little bit just in the chatter around that. It feels like we're all getting sick of it. I guess that's my
Yeah.
feeling. But
I'm
I
gonna,
don't
I
think
agree.
so. I mean, I guess it depends on how
yeah, go
you're
ahead.
thinking of it. I am thinking of it as a tool where I'm learning how to make music and I don't know how to do a very specific thing, and it helps me do this thing and it tells me step by step how to do it, and I would have taken however long to figure this out if I didn't have that type of help. And I don't have to find like a person to help me with it. And I think it'll help us in that way, where if you want to make something, maybe something that has never been done before, but you have these ideas, that it can somewhat help you with ideas.
I agree with that. I mean, I'm gonna bring. I'm just gonna talk what Nick said about doesn't learn. I disagree, because it does learn, right? Maybe on some that it all depends on how you use it, right? There are practical application. It tells you because of the vast. Now it's like reading a book, right? The more books you read, the more it learn, and that's data in the past. You're right, it collects data in the past, but the data in the past, that's the foundation of all our books. It's just right now you don't have to go to the library. You have space. Digital space is cheap. You can store that, and to harvest that, you're not going to go and find all those books, but it just gives you better. That's how it learns, right? I'm not saying that it will be the human interaction is going to be the same, but it's just it just gives you that. And then the more you converse, with it, I think the better it is. And that's really the purpose of it. That's why the practical application of it is the one I'm excited with.
2025 AI is much better than 2024 AI. That's for
For
Absolutely.
sure.
sure.
100%.
oh, and then the way that advanced in that time will happen in 6 months, and then 3 months, and then
Yep. It's
And
gonna
faster
happen
and
so
faster.
a
quickly.
day, and
Exponentially
then
faster.
it's
I
multiplicative. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready for it mentally. I know it's gonna be mind blowing when it's like at a level where, you
Well,
know, it's just
I'm
like
sure.
so much. It's hard to even think about where it could get.
I think the thing is what the biggest fear, and I think the concern is that it takes. We've already seen a decline in critical thinking in general, thinking about stopping and thinking about something, right? So when you have something that can automate that in seconds, which you could already argue, but still Google searching something still takes some critical thinking, because you have to look at things like, I don't think that's right information. Scroll to the next thing, and it's not quite what I want. Next thing. This is like instant, right? I still think at the end of the day, critical thinking is incredibly important, because
That is
I
super
don't
important.
think there's yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. It's because it just goes so far. You're like, you could, I guess, theoretically wear a suit that's seeing everything you see and feeling the ground and touching your body, and it can sense everything that's happening in your immediate vicinity, and then give you information. I guess that is possible. And maybe we get there one day, but there's at least a while where I think that's not going to happen. And even if something feels like it's the right answer for your situation, there's still pieces that won't be brought into the fold, I guess, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah. Just saying. I think the glitch bit say people want more genuine human connection. We're not saying we're replacing it, right? So
Mhm.
that's still there. If we're gonna gatekeep something, that's what we need to do, right? That human
Mhm.
connection. We're not taking that up. Just FYI, I'm not saying AI is how you do it. I think the human connection there is how you interact with it, right? And that's at least for me, in my opinion, that is the beauty of it. But with all of this AI, though, how do you guys see this? Is this a positive of what you guys are trying to do on the Secret Signal? No, is this like another level where you could hype up what you're trying to do, Lim and Jessica? You think
Yeah.
AI will help you guys?
I think again, it's all tools, right? And so it's just how can it speed up the process, make it more nimble, make it cheaper, more affordable, more easy to do. I think it's going to accelerate everything and make everything faster and quicker. I think that people that know and understand the tools are going to reap the rewards from that. And I think it's not something to bury your head in the sand and say, I'm not going to use AI. I mean, you're going to get left behind, unfortunately. But I think to the point of all this, you can't let it become the product, the thing you're making, the thing you're building. It's just part of that process. You know?
Right.
Yes.
And
It's
then,
a
and then you
goal.
said part of a process. And like I said, I think it's if you look at the ethical frontier of it, right? AI generate work, right? There's still somebody who owns the actual work,
Yeah.
either the coder, the writer, or even the DJ, right? So at that point, we may incorporate, I say, AI visuals on Twitch, but not perform the music. Those kind of combination. I think I see that as a good story to tell, has potential. Is
When
there
I think Twitch is a platform where that's viable. Whereas
yeah,
I think being a DJ and being paid to play music in a club, it is just awful to just to pretend and just have an AI do your whole set, right? That's not what we're talking about. I think in like a Twitch setting, you could have AI be part of your process, and that's part of the entertainment package that you're presenting. But we are creating an entire experience, with multiple things, and it shouldn't replace that whole thing,
correct,
right?
right. Yeah, that's where authenticity versus an algorithm. You draw that line, right? Yeah, as long as that AI doesn't make the beats, right? And then it just there's somebody there. I think you
And to
will.
Cheska's point, like I think if a DJ can or a producer can harness parts of AI to build a creative work that stands on its own 2 feet and is authentic and whatever, that's different than I've cracked the code to make all this AI generated music that goes on Spotify, that gets these hits, that goes in these playlists, and makes me all this money.
Of course.
And that for sure is happening. But what I can tell you is like whoever's making that, they aren't selling out shows. They aren't connecting with the the new wave, the Gen
No.
Z, the Gen Alpha. They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll only last for so long.
And I actually think people are catching on now, actually slowly. I think
Yeah.
it's starting to flip a little bit again. Because I mean, here in Denver's, for example, I mean, we got text me for the code, printed map, underground renegades under the underpass. I mean, that's happening.
We're going
Here
back.
more,
Oh,
more,
love that.
more and more. It is. I signed. I found one this week. I almost went. I couldn't, but hey, this isn't sketch totally illegal, but hey, we don't have a permit. That's happening. It is. So I
Yeah.
think it's pivoting back a little bit.
I want to
Yeah,
do that.
Yeah, that's
Let's do it.
where ethics comes in. Consulted AI. All right. Well, that's AI discussion, and I'm glad I got your different views on it, because I think it's a very hot topic everywhere you go. Whether it's just the application of it, even in politics, it's just
You can't trip and
crazy right
fall
now.
without hearing AI.
Yeah, exactly,
It's like you turn around, and you're like, oh god, AI's behind me.
Well, it's
everywhere.
interesting. It's
Yeah.
interesting, in our world, and when you're trying to, work with big companies, the first thing you do, what are you guys doing on AI? I mean, some of it doesn't really know what
Can we just
AI,
get rid of
right?
all these like chat with an AI assistant? It's like every single.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't- I'm
Yeah.
not
every
doing it.
business.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
that.
There's company that does that. You hire them. I'm not gonna build you that one. That's cool.
There you go.
All right. So do we have another topic, DJ Pat, or you want to jump on the
Yeah,
next segment?
we better jump on. I think our topics have been intertwined since the beginning, so we don't want to get off that rail. So
I
we
see.
can
All right.
probably head to the questions portion.
Yes. So this is the next segment of the show. Get ready, Jessica and Lim. You're gonna probably get roasted here. This is where we ask the audience. Called those no dumb question segment. This is where let me just play this. All right, this is a no dumb question. This is the segment of show. It's the favorite of everybody because this is your chance to ask Cheska and Lim any questions, and they are obliged. They sign a contract with us that they have to answer.
It was really
any
long.
questions.
It was like 20 pages. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Any questions that you cannot ask them during their stream, this is your chance to ask that question, and they will answer. So go ahead, chat. Any questions that you have to our guests, and also the hosts are going to answer it. So fire away.
Unless Gus
Bruce
says
is
a
ready
canned
over here.
question ready.
We have one though from Gus. I can put it.
Okay.
If I can start right. So this is the first question. A little bit spicy. What is the biggest lie DJs tell themselves? I'm gonna start with you first, Cheska. And why, right?
Mm, biggest lie. Hmm.
These are the type of question we want to ask. So get ready, guys.
The biggest
might-
lie.
This is the hardest question you ever asked.
Yes.
Maybe that they'll one day they'll play like a big festival stage if they keep at it.
Why?
Accept every gig, no matter how small. As long as you keep playing gigs, you'll get there.
But that's not a lie, though. But that's
It
still
is-
that's the
it
goal,
is a
though.
lie. I think the accepting every gig is where you fail, because if you're not picky with where you're playing, you might not make
Absolutely.
You kind of mean accepting everything is that like I should accept every gig that comes my way and that'll get me on the
Yes.
festival.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All
You
right. So
shouldn't.
you're
Yeah.
you're saying that all gigs are created equal, and then you should
Mhm.
accept, and it might lead you there. Okay. All right. That's a very good answer, Lim.
I think it just comes down to an ego thing for me, and I tell this to myself. I go in and out of that with different things. Like I try to be humble, but I'm very confident in things that I believe and that I speak and stuff like that. And it's a constant reminder to myself of like I am not hot shit, but I sometimes think I am, and I think it's easy to like get a big head and think that we are the best or whatever it may be. And I think at the end of the day, it's in service to the crowd. Like we are here to perform for people and make sure they have a good time. And if you get too big of a head about it, I think it ends up causing problems. I think, and it ends up putting you're doing things that you're doing a disservice to yourself, to the community that you're DJing for, to the things that you're doing. I think it's very easy to convince yourself that you're just total best thing it's ever walked, and like nobody is. We're all just trying to do our best out here. So that's my take. So that might be a little spicy. I don't know, but that's what I would say.
Nice. All right. Well, Gus, you're not gonna get away with this question, so I'm gonna go to you. You think I'm gonna jump, right? We have time, so
We were
answer
hoping you'd
this,
jump to the next one.
No.
Yeah. Okay. For me, it's probably I'm not gonna drink on this set.
That's a
He's
good
not
one.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna drink. during
That's
the-
all.
tough
That's
one.
a good one.
That's a good one. Nobody thought about that.
That's a good
All
one.
right.
That's
It's
definitely
tough.
me.
It is tough. It is.
Uh,
That's honestly
Sound-
part of the reason why I'm not as jazzed up about doing a bunch of club gigs. So there's so much influence. It's tough.
Me
Sound
every
You're like, I'm
decision.
not gonna drink tonight. I'm not gonna be hungover tomorrow, and then you like it's like a montage from a sitcom, and all of a sudden you're just like hungover. Like, why did I do that?
Absolutely. Sound decisions. How about you?
I don't drink, but I think I want this. I lie to myself by saying the music is loud enough, but you want it more loud, right? You want
Always
to go full
louder.
blast. You want it louder,
If
but
you're
you don't
not-
want to red.
If you're not red,
yeah, if you're not redlining, you're not headlining.
we
Right?
all wanted
Oh,
that.
man. I'm
Oh,
so
I love
careful.
that.
I'm super careful on Twitch about redlining, but in IRL gigs, I don't care. The,
And that's
the
why I'm
mixers will-
always on the PA mixer, the main one.
Gus will be on the PA.
Funny.
The
I actually
PA
feel
has
like
slipping.
I feel like I'm the opposite.
It's clipping.
Yeah.
There's
But,
protections
touch
everywhere.
the-
That's
I'm
the
kind of
best
the opposite because on Twitch people can control their own volume, whereas in the club they can't. So I'm kind of flipped on that actually.
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking about quality, but who cares about quality when
True.
they
If it's all distorted out, yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, next question. I'm waiting. I love you, Nix. I know this is coming already, so I have to put it.
Oh, I love this question.
Everyone loves this question.
I love
Every
you,
episode.
Nix.
Well, I
I
think
knew it. I knew it.
I think
All
we've already had this discussion. It's the same as
Yeah,
AI.
well, yeah. Well,
It's the
now-
same as
now-
AI,
It's
exactly.
a
Mhm.
tool.
Well,
It's a
I
tool.
want to hear you guys answer that. Jessica.
Well,
said that-
I used to be super against it because I was like, oh my god, that's not real DJing. I was one of those people. But if you can use it as a tool to go from vastly different BPMs and make it sound good, use it, because I was super against it, and then I saw one of my favorite DJs, and I definitely knew that they were using it, and I was just like, oh, that was really good. Why am I hindering myself?
This is
Like, the
super
crowd
useful.
doesn't care. The
No,
crowd
it's
does not care.
super useful for bass music. I'm telling
Yes.
you. Yeah.
But yeah, I say learn how to beat match before you learn how to use sync.
Sure.
I love that.
That I
I
agree
love
with.
that. I
agree with
love that
for-
answer.
100%.
Nick,
For
you
sure.
love
And
that answer.
I
Right,
would
Nick?
actually, I'd argue more people agree with that than don't. Actually, I would say, but
How about you, Lim?
I think it's a tool. It's the same conversation as AI, right? It shouldn't be used as a crutch, but it is a tool. And I think you also have to look at the modality of what you're doing. Streaming, you are doing the whole thing. You're the light, tech, sound, performance, marketing, all of it. Keeping up with the chat. If you need to use sync, especially as a Twitch DJ, use that shit because you're doing 10 things at once.
Mhm.
In a club, it's different, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
if that's being your crutch and you're not actually like learning and trying to be the best at your craft, that's a problem, right? That's what I think.
All right. Well, Gus and sound decision, you got to pass here because you answered this like 10,000 times already. Next, I'm telling you, that's probably the one can question, every no dumb question. I love that. Everyone
I
has
will
a
say, I will say it is
I
such
love it.
a tired question though. No offense, but like
It's
it
very
just
tired.
endless just threads
Uh-huh.
about. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, can we just stop
Yeah,
saying that?
but
And oh, you just stand there and press play. Can we please put those to bed, please? Like,
it's interesting though. Like everybody has a different answer. Not that because they're right or wrong. It's just like people's, for perspective. Like what Cheska said, that's actually different. I haven't heard that in an answer on that question, but thank you. All right, we have another question from Double GMC. Is that a question? When you have a music plan out for a stream, when that day comes, how often does your mood on that day possibly sway you into going an opposite direction?
I never have my music planned out. It's always based on my mood. Literally always based on my mood. Unless I'm saying I'm doing a throwback stream, always based on my mood. If I'm tired, the music's slow. You can tell. I'm like, oh, I think I need to go to bed.
Wait. How do you? How was that with Cheska when the music is slow?
yeah, right. I don't know that I've heard that either.
Can you text me and say I want to hear that though. It's almost like almost like
Usually on a Sunday when I'm tired. Like I like some vibey melodic stuff, and sometimes I like to showcase that, but I have to be in the mood.
Ladies and
Right.
gentlemen, you hear it here.
Yeah, you heard it here. Lem, how about you?
So I'm fairly unique in the way that I think about streaming. I would say there's most of the time I don't plan mine either, but there's one day a week, which is Wednesday nights, where I try to look at more as a holistic performance. So I actually do a lot with like world building, visual design. I spend a lot of time finding visuals. I try to find something new that I can kind of like share with the chat or with the stream. I try to create like a start to finish, kind of like a journey. And so I used to actually plan that like really detailed, and then it just got to be too much. But I do try to just sit and kind of prep it. I actually find I do the best creative work under a deadline. So I actually find that I do best if I do that like 2 hours before stream, believe it or not. If I do it like days in advance, I just can't come up with stuff. I can't come up with anything good. But it's actually like hours before stream where I'm deciding, if I am deciding, what I'm going to play. That'll do it.
Sounds like the show. We planned this like 2 minutes before.
Yeah.
We don't know what's gonna happen. So this.
Well, I mean, hey, if you got a
This next
deadline,
door.
people start moving real quick when you got a deadline when you're about to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, So that helps me.
Interesting enough, that helps me too, because this show we've been doing this for 2 years now, like 36 episode in. I think the only time we planned is the first episode, and it was a disaster. Well, not disaster, but like it was better than we thought it is. But it was okay. We're abandoning any type of script. We go with the flow. Like we will be texting. The three of us will be texting each other like hours before, like 2 hours before, or what are we talking about, and then sometimes like half an hour before during dinner, this is where we're gonna go. And then sometimes the ones that were not planned are the best ones.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Gus? Does it also dictate the costume you're gonna wear in your stream depending on your mood? Just to let you guys know again, who if you don't know Gus, Musoko Type Mo streams with different costume every time. Like
And 11
and when she-
cameras.
and 11
I want to
cameras.
see your
different
closet.
Yeah. Oh my God. You don't want to see the butt cam though. He literally has a camera like just showing his butt. Like yeah, you have to check him out. Like
Specific, a specific
every show.
camera angle for the
Yeah,
the ass
every
cam.
show though. Every show is a different. It's a mixture of you're gonna get Batman, Ariel from The Little Mermaid, or
Ariel Batman.
Ariel or
I
Batman,
can-
or oh that'd be good.
Ariel
Or
Batman.
Ariel, Batman, and sometimes Chun Li also. So it depends on his mood, right? Jess?
Oh
Is
my
that's how it is.
yeah.
And the music would be Soulful House while he's wearing such costumes. So
You might have to stream under like pools, hot tubs, and whatever the other category is.
I think that's where
Oh,
he
he-
belongs.
he
but
tried, dude. He tried. He
Oh,
tried. We
okay.
were looking at. Like, can you do that during the hour days that we start Twitch? We were trying, like, can
When
you
they weren't as strict.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about you, Pat? Do you have any? Is the same?
Well, quick answer. 2 types of playlists. One for speed and one for feel. So I prepare both.
I like that.
So if it's a 90-minute
That's good. I like that.
live set and we want to go through all the music and people get bored, then mix it 90 minutes, 65 tracks. So that's planned out because it's so hard to search. But for the rest of the feel, maybe the Twitches and the longer format sets, then you just go by feel, whatever mood you
By
have.
vibe. I hear a lot of people
Yeah.
make folders by vibe rather than by genre. I find-
Which that's also actually very effective. Yes.
I'm really surprised nobody wanted to ask any spicy question. Like this is chat. I've been asking people for weeks now. But I'm gonna go with this next question. Neighbor kid, I like the name. Right, you should be on the neighborhood rate.
It's like it seems. Yeah,
They
a lot of
should.
them-
It's very appropriate. You call me. I'll message.
Neighbor
you.
Kid was part of Secret Signal.
Yeah. Let's get you on the neighborhood rate train. Neighbor kid said, "What is one thing you have been wanting to implement on stream?" I'm gonna start with Lim first here.
One thing you want to implement on stream. I'm really interested in like that intersection of like virtual and IRL and stuff. I do a lot with green screens. You can't really tell, but I actually have green screens that cover the full length of the shed, so I can pull them down and across the ceiling. So I try to do a lot with world building around that. So I basically built. So my aesthetic is if you're familiar with liminal spaces, the back rooms. It's just kind of like a underground kind of vibe, very whitewashed walls and very like kind of almost creepy, but not quite. It's kind of just kind of weird. Basically, we're like kind of building a world within that. So I have like a mall that I've built in using green screens, like images and just renderings and stuff. And so just exploring more of that and finding ways to like do world building and be able to walk through places in a virtual setting is very interesting to me. So that's definitely something I want to implement more for sure. It's more of that kind of thing.
So since we're in that topic, I just want to ask, the mask. What's the inspiration in the mask? Did you decide before you're gonna stream, you're gonna do this? And I see you got a multiple other masks there. What is that? What is the origin of that?
So there's a lot of things. First of all, I would argue everybody wears a mask, right? Mine's just actually on my face. I think a lot of people aren't they've got walls up, they've got ways that they hide behind, different ways that they are, right? So we all have a persona on Twitch, whether or not you see our faces or not. So that's the real heady answer for you. If you want to go simpler with it, marketing, right? I saw a lot of people doing that. It's very popular in the bass scene. There's a lot of DJs that use masks, and so I didn't see it happening on Twitch, and so decided to kind of go with that route. And then the final answer would be, I think it looks cool as shit, and I like it. So
who else wears a mask? The database.
So I actually put
Phantom
together a raid
Yep.
train that was all masked DJs actually. So I can tell you, we got Avian Invasion, Tiger Hoods, we got Phantom Operator, we got
Tiger Hoods. Yeah, I forgot.
Flash. The Flash wears a giant
The
head.
Oh, I forgot it. I forgot about
Liquid
him.
Bongo wears a panda head. There's actually more than you'd think actually.
You have to get Gus. Gus has a lot of masks. Gus, you have to get on that raid train. You get that one.
Database as well. Yeah, database are probably doing
Yeah.
it at the highest level from at least production wise. Big inspo, big inspo. Yeah. They're
Okay.
kind of taking a Daft Punk approach.
Yes. All right. That's. I mean, that's good to know because people are wondering, where that mask came from.
I would say one other thing is I have a little bit of a hidden motive of like I like people to come in thinking a certain thing, and then I like to kind of flip that on its head so people think I don't know, you might think like, who the heck is this guy? He's going to be some like some I don't know, like some hard ass or something like that. And then I have a very like fun, nice, wholesome community. I'm very chill and approachable. I kind of like the mind games around that too, if I'm being honest. So there's that too.
How about you, Cheska? What's one thing? I mean, obviously you have a lot now. I know compared to when you first met you have all this cool stuff behind you. What's one thing you have been wanting to implement in your stream?
I want to add more camera angles and lights, still more lights, and a fog machine. Maybe I know that's what what chat keeps asking for. But yeah, I definitely would love to put more production into it because right now it's very static. The camera's in one place. It used to move, and the motor for my thing broke. So yeah. I also had a butt cam, kind of spot cam.
You have to have Gus. Gus has even the fog, fog machine and everything. All the lights.
Yeah, I want more production for sure. Like a show.
Good. You can drive Gus to Cheska's place and help her. Just introduce yourself that you're
We
a
can
streamer.
collab. We can
Yeah,
definitely.
you talk to Tito first. Tito, I'm here to help. Okay. Gus, how about you? What is the one thing what else have you not done on your stream that you still want to do?
Me, I think I want to put like I have that screen for movies. It's always hard for me to switch from the DJ set to that screen so that I can dance the
I
whole.
love your answers.
Yeah, that's what he got.
This is why you're on the
That's
show.
good.
We're giving all these like crazy, like serious, real
You
thought out
haven't heard
answers.
half of it. You should have been Jessica. You should have been 4 episodes ago when we talk about Tabo. You know what Tabo is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, let's not.
Yeah,
I'm not saying we were talking about that.
Yeah, we were having a hard time explaining on stream. I was like,
It's like a
what are you
bidet
talking about?
but in a
Exactly.
Exactly. People like, well, why would we get to Tabo? Like, anyway, that's Gus's, for you. How about you, Pat? Anything else?
I have nothing, but I want to talk about stream together because our guests are experts, seems like. So let's talk about that, and maybe we can implement that in this show or in our own sets.
Stream together?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, you definitely need to implement that on this.
And Twitch is pushing it for sure. I think it'll definitely bring you more viewers because I do feel like it's part of what got Secret Signal event in Detroit on the front page. It didn't hurt, Cheska's partner as well. And just the event was dope as hell. But, there were 4 of us together streaming at once, and it'll say Cheska's Tunes plus 3 people. And, it also shares the chats too. So everybody's chat will go into each other's chats. So it's like a big shared experience. Totally worth doing if you can pull it off. Yeah, it's nice.
It's great because it's like raiding. Like he brought his Lim brought his raiders in here, but we wouldn't need to raid. We would just already have everyone here.
So question on that. So logistic first. So do you need, because I saw that when you're live, because I'm modding for Grace, and then you're gonna check somebody, gonna raid in and says knock at the bottom. Is that what it is?
That's one way.
Yes, that's one way. Yep.
What's the other way?
There's a pane in settings that says stream together, and then it opens up a separate pop-up window. And then within that, you can invite people, and you can also share your chats within that. It's like one pop-up window interface, and then it also allows you to share your screen, share your audio, share your mic. There's one portal that's streamed together that handles all that. But the knock is the quick way to that person I want to connect with.
How is the music then? I mean, is it I mean, obviously, if the beat doesn't match, how does that work?
It would be better for something like this where
Right.
where there's no clashing music. Yeah, I don't know how you would do.
You're
2
basically
DJ
what we did is
streams.
replicating, so everybody's stream is the same picture. So
Oh,
you use something like Restream, which basically will copy, like it would take this exact feed and copy it to 4 streamers' other feeds. It'd be identical across all 4, but we're
So
all streaming live.
is it based on
I see.
their old technology? They did it before. We did that once. I actually did that with Grace because I invited. It was Grace's anniversary, and I invited some of you guys, to jump on it, and then you don't have to be live at that point. So right now you have to be live so that you can like for this show, and that's just probably comment or listen in. Is that what it is?
It would just show all of us as live, and then it would show the same exact screen, but streaming to everyone's channels.
That would be great. I think we should
That's-
incorporate.
Yeah, and
that
actually,
in our
to
next-
to
ne-
Rhythm's
next-
to
next-
Rhythm's point, the main part of Stream Together that we were using was actually the shared chat. The shared
Yeah.
video feeds were done
That was something else.
independently with
Mm.
something like Restream, for example, where it takes
Right,
the same
right.
feed and copies it. But
How about viewership?
it's
Yeah,
shared,
it's shared.
and everybody gets
Shared.
the stats for it.
Oh,
Everybody
Yeah.
gets the
Oh,
numbers for it.
everybody gets a stat
Yep.
for it. Oh, that's
Mhm.
actually good collaboration.
Yep.
that's
Oh,
good.
And
Yeah.
yep, Twitch is definitely pushing it right now. So I recommend everybody to try using it because it's one of their ways they're trying to build profitability for the platform. So I think the exposure goes up if you use it because they see it more.
we should try that. I know
It's time to
Liminal,
try it.
Yeah, try to do it, but we don't know how it's going to react. So, but right now, I think I can play around with it, and then see if we can do that with the next guest of the show. I think that would be very, very interesting.
I think it'd be perfect. It'd be perfect for something like this. Definitely.
hmm
Yep.
Hmm.
I'd
Okay.
recommend it.
Okay. All right. We have time for one more question.
Go.
I think, I think there's one from. I'm looking at it. Sorry, let me find it. By the way, hello to everybody on the chat. We see Supa there, Neighbor Kid, my cup of tea, Dahlia. She's Filipina, right, Jessica?
Recently found out.
She's also in Michigan. She's also in Michigan.
Yes,
No,
also in Michigan. We
wow.
also found out what's
Mhm.
going on. There's a lot of
The
you
tribe
guys
is
go-
growing.
Wait, we gotta make
Go
a
to church.
Twitch stream, Twitch
Oh,
show
a
with
team.
all of us.
Yeah, our show. Yeah, there you go.
So all of us, including Grace, are gonna go to the movement this May.
Oh, I went
So
last year. It
we-
was
we-
so
I-
good.
I'll be doing a pop up.
So good. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we'll definitely be there. We'll
Dude,
bring
it was
all the-
dope. It was dope. I got to do it with Cheska, and then Martino Eduardo popped up, and I jumped on the decks. It was actually kind of cool. It's right outside of the gates. There's a little corner, and they've been doing it for years, right?
Seriously. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
We'll be there on a Saturday.
We'll be there.
So
Yeah, we'll
let us
be
know.
there. Oh, we'll try
Yeah, we're-
swing by.
I'm usually right in front of the duty free store. I'll have my
Okay, I
Alright.
know where that is.
I'll have
Okay.
my new controller. We'll have speakers. The cops
Easy.
don't care.
They
We talk to
don't.
the cops. We've talked to them. We do it
Well, it's
almost
quieter
every
than
year.
it's quieter than the festival. You know?
Yeah, they don't
All
care.
right, Gus. Let's bring our
Well,
songs.
you
our
count
tracks.
us.
I'm probably gonna stream it too. So
Count us in.
Yeah.
We'll be there. We'll bring all the titos and the titas. Right,
Come
8 of them.
through.
There you go.
Do it.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right,
be there.
all right. Well, guys, thank you so much. I hate to cut it. I think we're gonna end it this way. Sweet. Yeah. Appreciate you joining the show and then tell us the story. And then I think what you guys are doing in Secret Signal is great. And I think at the end of the day, Secret Signal is just not about throwing parties, right? Or streaming set. It's about you guys building a bridge between the scenes, between generations, between artists who might not ever found each other, not because of Twitch, right? And then I guess what you guys are telling, you're not here to compete with the old guards, right? You're actually here to
No.
connect, right? To show that Twitch DJs are real DJs, that online communities can have as much as energy, emotion, and authenticity. That's any DJs around the world in the dance floor, right? I think this movement that you build on the love for music, the respect for the craft, and the belief that something bigger can happen. And we love that. And I think whether you're spinning vinyl in a dark basement or layering loops on your controller inside your bedroom wearing your PJs, it's just discovering what the scene's all about. And I think Secret Signal has that in store. And good luck to you guys. More power, and you got our support, right, guys? The guys next door,
Yes, we're excited.
NBHD, we're excited for that. You got our support. Well, we're gonna put the signal out there.
There you go.
I
You're
get a
just
lot
full
of
them. I
puns
think you
today.
need-
Oh
I
my
think you
god,
need
I'm
a-
just I'm just throwing all the puns
you
out
need a
there,
new,
right?
you need a new line of work. I think.
Yeah,
You're-
yeah. But thank you, and appreciate you guys.
Yes,
joining
thank
the
you.
show.
Been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
And before we end, I would like you guys to start promoting your shows on Twitch, your IRL. I'm gonna give the floor to you guys. Cheska, I'm gonna go with you first.
Shows coming up.
Yep, shows coming up. Twitch
anything,
or IRL.
anything you want to promote?
My next one is June 13th. I'm opening for RL Grime at Electricity Direct Support.
Nice.
Wow,
It's a big deal. Big deal.
that is
Yeah.
big.
2 hours away, guys. 2 hours away. If I
Oh,
was not 12
yeah.
hours, okay, I will go.
June.
guys
It'll
take-
be nice out.
Nice. All right. About your and when do you
I
stream on Twitch?
stream. Well, actually, I am getting a new controller. Hopefully tomorrow. Should be in the mail tomorrow.
Nice.
And I will try and stream myself learning a new controller. But I stream usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you.
And I usually
Thank
do
you.
for 4 hours. And I'm Cheska
Uh,
Tunes everywhere.
Follow Cheska, and she's amazing, guys. All right, Lim, how about you?
Yeah, so the big night for streaming for us is Wednesday nights, and often, Cheska and I are streaming around the same time, so we'll often raid each other. So if you want to come through, check us both out. You can do that. Were you gonna say something?
I forgot. I forgot to promo the bass buds.
Oh yeah, well I can do that for us.
Yeah,
So,
do it.
Cheska runs the only bass, the only really team that's
Team.
all bass DJs on Twitch. So we all specialize
Oh,
in
wow.
our bass forward. It's called the Bass Buds. We do raid trains a lot.
Yep, raid trains
so if
every
you
first
like-
Sunday of the month.
And it's all different kinds. It's not just a riding the rail headbanging dubstep. It's also bass house. It's also deep dubstep. It's also garage, drum and bass, all of it. If you like that kind of, if you like a good sub, this is where you want to be for sure.
Nice.
Yep,
We'll send a
absolutely.
few of NBHD fam there, if they want to join,
Yes.
if you
Yeah,
you
let
accept,
them
some
let
of
them
those,
know.
Yep,
Always looking
yep.
for more.
Yep,
Awesome.
absolutely. Yep, and then Wednesday nights are our big nights in the liminal space. We come together. It's our community nights. We also hang out on Discord. It's become a bigger and bigger thing, which is cool. So we actually have people in the Discord hanging out, dancing, vibing, and that's continued to grow. And Cheska and I stream on the same night, so we usually, it's often that we'll raid each other too, so you can get a 2-for-1 deal there. When it comes to
Right.
Secret Signal, eyeing a Denver next. Might be eyeing somewhere in Canada. We're still working on that, and probably 2 in Denver this year. And then there's a lot of interest in either LA or San Francisco or both right now. So it's kind of DMs are kind of getting hit hard right now. So we're just trying to figure out how is best able to make it all work in a way that doesn't get overwhelming, right? So that's what I would say.
Sounds good, guys. And the inmates in TGND, we can talk more, but we only put 2 hours. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys can will go back in the show. And I hope you have fun. This has been great conversation. We learn a lot, and more, like I said, more power to what you guys are doing. And thank you for everybody for listening, and then also hearing the stories from Lim and Cheska. And I hope you guys also support them. And also, please support this show. We do this every Monday. We're doing season 2 this year. I don't know how many episodes can we do, but hoping we're gonna hit 24 episodes again for this show. We feature a lot of people in the show. If you have your own story you want to tell, reach out to me. We'll definitely get you on Twitch, on not Twitch, on the show, the guys next door. Appreciate you guys, and this is the guys next door. Happy Monday and have a good rest of the week, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you very
Chester.
much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Liminal
Thank you.
Faces.
Thank
Thank
All
you. Thank you.
right.
Take
Thank
care.
you. Thank
Great
you.
show. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
All right.
Much
Well,
love.
we're gonna rate out CJ Violet Sunset. So we're gonna go there.
Them too.
See y'all.
I've tried 1,000 tries, and there may be other guys. I'll never compromise, and now I realize there may be